It was a flam.
There was still a flam,
a
but that
flam.
was not.
It
bad
wasn't one of
at
those flams
all.
that like kills the tone of the snare.
No,
No.
it actually just gave it a like a.
I'm good with that. If you are.
Yes, it was like the drop that you, just the two-hander.
Let
A
it
nice
be.
one. We've been
All right.
rolling.
Welcome back, everybody. We got another episode here for you today in our new format.
New format.
Pretty excited about that.
Eat your heart out, Jordan Peterson.
And we have our. Yeah, right. I just watched one of his today, and it was absurdly beautiful.
yeah.
They were like in Kiev in some like freaking, I don't know, sunlight coming up. But we got our boy Ryan Rich with us. Thanks for coming, dude.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me, bro.
Of
yeah.
course. It's
Long
been
overdue,
too
but
long.
hey, love to be
Yes.
here.
So I've known Ryan only like pretty short
go way
period
back.
of time.
No, no, he doesn't know
know
Way
but
back to last year.
Brandon,
Yeah.
way back to last year. But Brandon's known a lot longer. Do you want to just kind of talk about the context of y'all's relationship, who Ryan is, what he does, and then we'll just start talking.
So
now.
we met. You're friends with my friend named Gavin, who's like an incredible guitar player.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom.
Not Gavin Newsom.
Brandon
no,
has every friend, so that would be believable.
I wouldn't be shocked. He's like,
That's
yeah, I did
true.
a mix for Gavin Newsom's.
One
He
time-
actually
Back
released
in
a
CFNI
EP
days.
back when he was in
No.
college.
Yo, my wife though, for real, she says that about because she's like more of an introvert. You know, kind of keeps to herself. I am the opposite. So everyone's my friend. And no, I think I met Gavin when I came to CFNI in 2008, and you had known him by that point.
Yep.
I
Shout
think.
out Gavin Smee.
Yep.
Good guy.
And we met. I think when you came to visit.
Calvary or was
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
Calvary. Yeah, I think you came to visit him and stayed at
That's
his
right.
house for a few days. And
Yep.
we met that one time.
My parents, we lived here. We didn't live here. We basically drove down every weekend for like a year and a half because we were helping out a ministry.
From St. Louis.
No, man, that would be god
yeah,
awful.
dude, I was
It was
like,
from Austin.
Okay.
I lived in Austin for a
Isn't
small
it
extent.
driving
what was the
up?
gas budget for this, dude? That's
They didn't have
wild.
No, they didn't have a Tesla, but it was a little different back then.
Yeah,
Well, you have to
right,
stop and charge, and that's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, so we would just visit every Friday through Sunday, stay with some friends sometimes, hotels, and then I would just stay with the Smees, man. Like
Yeah.
I was their third kid. So
Yo, I have the funniest story
What?
about Doug Smee. Shout out to Doug Smee. Yo, so they're the most like hospitable people, and I came to CFNI, and Gavin and I were like close friends, and they invited me over to their house, and somehow they're in their attempt to be hospitable. Doug picked up that he thought he overheard me say, "I love warm Diet Pepsi." Like room temperature Diet Pepsi, which if
You're
anyone
about to say
knows-
warm diapers. dude.
no.
Doug is
so,
a character, bro.
So like
Warm Diet Pepsi.
for warm like room temperature Diet Pepsi, which I'm pretty sure they serve that in hell.
I would have kicked you out of
Okay.
my house if you said
No,
that.
okay,
I'd be
for real
like,
though,
you're
like,
definitely gonna kill someone sometime.
years go by. This is in 2008.
Oh, God.
Years go by. Like it's like 2012. Like I'm working at Calvary, Gavin's working there. Like we're all like. Then Doug finds out. He hears me say something. He's like, "Do you want some Diet Pepsi?" I said, "Yeah, put on some ice." And he goes, "What?"
Wait,
He's like,
like
"What?"
this is like a
He just
paradigmal, like
remembered
structural
this moment
understanding
from
of who
4
you are.
years
and
ago.
like, and he's like, "You don't like it room temperature?"
Honestly, the fact for him to
bro.
remember that, how hospitable.
Yeah, how
Like,
many
but
times had
also
he
what?
served
Like,
you, dude?
I mean, for years, I didn't say anything. I'm trying to be nice. Like, it's like, I'm at your house, bro. Thank you. And he just, for 4 years, he just
he's
served
putting
me
it in the microwave
warm
before
Diet
giving it to you,
gosh.
dude.
Like, they never put, they're so sweet. They bought, like, Diet Pepsi for me
Mhm.
and then always just put it on the floor in their pantry. They never put it in the fridge because
Oh my god.
No, what
Yeah.
a man.
That
they're
is-
like,
that's
it's the
different.
most, like,
Dude.
it's hilarious, but it's also like, dang, that dude's heart's
That's
right.
mad
That's
love.
the right
Yes.
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
we
my
love the Smee
gosh.
family.
Yeah, we do. We
Yeah.
do.
They sound great.
Anyway, so you came to Calvary.
Yep.
I left Calvary and went on. I think it went somewhere else.
Bigger,
but-
better things. Yeah.
And then, you know, you moved to Dallas in
Mhm.
like 2015,
Yeah. 16. Yep.
16.
Very close.
I was close.
Yep. Been here, man, 9 years.
And you what instruments do you play? Is there a check yes to all?
Yeah, all of the above.
We
Check.
will say the Sunday best is what I play. The 4 or 5 that are used everywhere
Yeah.
every Sunday. So
That's
the main
drums,
one
bass.
for us, we're drummers. So drums is first love always. And then my dad was a keyboard player, piano player, worship pastor, and so I had to learn piano. Like
Yeah.
I think I got my first kit when I was 5, and prior to that, they made me play piano, like with a teacher every week. So
Yeah.
From like 3 to 5, basically,
Nice.
which is like, I don't know the developmental, I don't know the macro on that, but
Yeah.
like it wasn't engaged until later in life. It was like, I'm a drummer. I'm a drummer. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I am.
But you are not just a drummer, dude. You're the most producer drummer that I've ever met in my life. So we first worked together on Phil King's record.
Yeah, that's
in,
so weird.
Spring of 2019.
Something like that, man. You know these dates. I'm
Dude.
so bad with dates.
We had
dude, time flies.
it was. I think it's in. No, it was in the fall. It was in the fall of 2019.
Yep, that was a fun record. That was a mixture of some Gateway crew, and he was at Gateway at that time, and then obviously some Upper Room crew, and it was honestly like that didn't happen a lot. That kind of
it was. So you and then Josiah played bass.
Yep.
And Josiah's freaking ridiculous.
Josiah Armstrong, we love you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Garrett on guitar.
Garrett
Caleb.
Hardy. Yep.
Caleb Karlovich.
Yep. Caleb
on the other
Karlovich.
guitar
Yep.
on ED2, and then you on drums.
Oscar Gamboa.
And Oscar on keys, and then Braxton.
That's right.
Ran tracks the night of. So Braxton's
Scott
like,
and Braxton.
He was in the monitor room at CFNI,
just
like,
running tracks,
pushing all the cues and everything because it's just a lot, And
that was a good crew, man.
That was fun.
That's honestly a good memory. A good memory. Like that was our first record together.
Yeah.
Okay. We did we do like any services or anything before then?
I don't think so. But
okay.
Because
you had already switched to audio by that point, so it was like you were full on. I mean,
wait, you were playing drums
19?
on that?
No.
I was on drums, but
he knew me as
I've known him as a drummer.
Oh, okay, yes, originally.
Yeah,
it's just
that
hilarious.
would make sense.
But
yeah, from your
like
goatee
that
days.
record. Oh, dude, man. My stepdad was right. He was like, Brandon, you're gonna regret that goatee. And you know what? You know what? I do.
Yeah. You got the L.
Sometimes
on
I
that one.
regret.
Just take the L.
Just take the L. I insisted on my mom when my mom got remarried in 2009. I insisted on the goatee. I look like a complete jerk.
It was just a rebrand.
Hey.
It was so bad. I wished that I just
Yeah,
listened.
dude.
But arrogance when you're young,
I wouldn't trust you at all if you still had that.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust me either.
No, not at all.
But that was a fun record. That was really, really a great experience for all of us.
That's probably when I really was just like, okay, drums is definitely just going to be the thing to open up other doors. And so I played drums, piano, bass, guitar, all the things. And the Lord just kept opening doors for drums, man. So I was like, okay, from the point I was 5, it should have been clear.
Yeah.
But, you're doing ministry I was doing ministry with my family. And so it was like, I don't know if this is regular, like, it's just what I enjoy doing. So maybe there's more to it, and maybe there's other instruments, and they've been helpful, especially like doing production these days. Like they've been really helpful. But man, drums has given me great friendships like you. So
dude. Okay, I want to hear. I want you to just like. I want to hear your story. I think the most with like younger guys, the things that interest me the most is like obviously how the process went growing up and getting into all this stuff and just your story as a person. But then also like, I'm always interested to hear like, when is that moment that you felt like you crossed the line into like, oh snap, like I'm like a professional. I'm really good at this. I could add value to like other people. They could hire me.
Yeah. I love that. No.
Start with your story, dude.
Absolutely. So, I was born and raised in St. Louis. We were just talking about it a little bit before the podcast. And my parents they've been worship pastors my whole life. My mom's been an evangelist, and they've been in ministry as long as I've been alive.
Like just domestic? Or
really, just domestic. Really around the St. Louis area.
Okay.
They're originally, Pentecostal, and so that's like my real upbringing. But kind of around the time I became 8 or 9, they started to also play at like predominantly white churches. And if you know anything about St. Louis, there's kind of really it's very grid-like. There's 2 different sides of St. Louis.
Yeah, it's like pretty segregated.
And, not just in like economics or geographically what you'll get in different places, but in ministry sense too. Like it's a lot of different. You know where you are based on what block you
the
cross.
Address.
And so my parents, they are some of the first people that I got to see, and a lot of other people that I know till this day, they attest to being able to cross integrate into, in a ministry sense, both, types of churches. And
Yes,
just for lack of better terms, white and black churches, man. Like my Sunday mornings was at a church called Life Christian Church, and it was Reformed, and like a just full on white church, like white Hillsong every weekend, Lakewood every weekend, like Darlene Shack. We love it. Like we love to see it. And but then Sunday nights we would go to my grandma's church or my uncle's church across the bridge.
Were people like falling out and stuff there?
Oh, dude. I mean, modesty towels everywhere.
Oh,
like,
dude.
Just the whole thing.
Let's go.
And
Tambos?
so, yeah, absolutely. And so,
modesty towels. So
like,
funny.
I mean,
That's
really,
real.
any
that
given
real.
Sunday, we would be at 2 to 3 churches just because we knew so many people, whether it be family connections and
It's
my
just how
parents.
you spent your Sundays.
My parents were just that way, man. They kept us in church Sundays, Mondays, too, like every day of the week, man. So I feel like a big part of our family dynamic, our family dinner table was always in a church. It just felt like that was where we broke bread with people. That's where we really just had a love for the Lord in the communities that he put us in. And so I say all that to say, like, that plays a big role into my music today, is the things I've gotten to be a part of. Hopefully it's just as much capable of being, cross-integrated, where I thank the Lord for the doors he's opened in a lot of CCM industry and some of those things. But then also I love records I get to do that really bring it back to my roots. And so, so that's like where I'm from, St. Louis, and very musical family. My mom has 15 brothers and sisters.
Oh
my
my
dad
God.
has 11. And
wait. Hold on.
yeah, dude.
Wait. So
stop
she's
there.
one of
Hold
16.
on.
She's one of 16.
Let's
All
do
the
time.
same
Let's
mom,
do the
dad.
math. Cousin math.
Dude.
Cousin math.
Oh, I was about to get
I'm
there.
gonna guess
I was about to get there.
At least 65.
You're in the range, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Game
I
time.
would say 75 plus.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're cousins. I
Bro,
joke
can
like
I come with you to a family reunion?
you may regret that, but
dude, you're gonna
totally.
get lost, dude.
No, I won't get lost.
Oh,
I
dude,
won't get lost.
Ryan. No, but yeah, dude, you would love it, man. Like my family's a hoot. Like,
Oh my
so a
gosh.
lot of cousins. Like,
That's so cool.
anytime
though.
we do family reunions, I feel like this is just our family, man. I feel like I'm meeting a new cousin.
Mhm.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
yeah,
Yeah.
how a family that big, like how tight? I mean, I'm sure there's a dynamic range of that, but like how tight are you?
Yeah, so I
guys?
have like my tier
Or
of
sort of-
cousins I grew up with, and then there's a whole like it's
Yeah, the
almost
ones around your age.
Think like
Yeah, okay.
your high school class. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm class 09. I'm like whatever. It's like literally think that way
No,
as
you
far
guys
as
could
that
be.
big
I
of
mean,
a family.
75 kids. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
like-
how big my elementary school was.
Yeah, I know people who have schools smaller than my family, so
Dude.
it's like
Oh my.
that's how I think
gosh.
about
That's so cool, though.
our family, and so
That's sick.
I grew up
Gang.
with like really maybe 10 to 15 of them on a regular basis, saw them all the time. So and I bring them up to say like very musical family. Like everyone in my family sings, everyone in my family plays something. Like I mentioned, my uncle has a church, and my grandparents had churches, and so just I'm a real church kid, man. That's my background. So
I love that. That's why we all get along so well.
yeah, man, the Lord's kept my heart soft towards the
Yeah.
church because of the upbringing I had, and
That's amazing.
that's like super important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
St.
my background.
Louis. Yeah, St. Louis. You grew up there, and then how the heck did Dallas end up happening?
Yeah, so eventually my parents they started doing a lot more travel, and internationally, domestically, and maybe around my teenage years, and so we would be a little bit everywhere, man. Like I've lived a lot of places, and one of the ones that became more stationary for a season of time was Austin, and we were there maybe 2 years, and on a whim, man, the Lord told them to go, and they're just those kind of people. Like they heard from the Lord, and I don't know, when your livelihood and your family's livelihood is rooted in ministry, you're kind of betting on like, okay, I have to hear the Lord's voice. Like there's no other option.
There's a certain amount of like living by faith that's actually
an
walked out.
excruciating amount. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's very stretching. It's very like it'll put you in a fire.
Yeah.
And it'll test where your faith is.
That's
and
awesome.
so that's their story, and they've been my role models in that. So eventually we ended up in Austin, and then the Lord told them that he was just using that as a solid ground for them to be able to serve this other person, this general of the faith that they would meet in Carrollton, Texas. And it's at a church called Grace Church at the time.
Mm.
And so he couldn't pay them close to anything, but the Lord told him to do it. And so they would do, some services at the church that they were planted in Austin, but then they would also go weekends to the church in Dallas. And so,
dude, that's faith.
And so we did that for a year and a half, and that's where I met Gavin. That's where I met Brandon, and honestly, a whole group of people that when I moved here on my own, when I became 20, the Lord somehow kept all those relationships intact. And so that's how I first got to Dallas. In that time frame, I'm playing behind my parents at church.
Yeah, you're just always just the solid drummer asset for the ministry.
Basically, when it's your family, it's like you're on drums.
Yeah,
deal
exactly.
with it. And,
did you guys have a family band?
Technically, I guess that's what it was. Like
not
my
that
sister
toured
sings.
ever. You just
no. It's just it's like you grew up in church and you're gonna learn something around here. So I've been playing in church, man, since I was. It sounds foolish, since I was 8.
I believe it.
Yeah, that church in St. Louis that we were planted in, I would play every weekend in the youth group, and my form of payment was Taco Bell.
Oh man,
dude.
Yeah, and
that's acceptable.
Low key though, Taco Bell at 10 p.m.
It slaps.
But this is, but think about
what your net worth or your regular diet is.
Absolutely.
Taco Bell hits.
But to think about it, this is Sunday. At 1 p.m. after the main services have ended, they have their youth services. So my dad and the youth worship pastor, he basically asked my dad, hey, can I borrow your son? Your son's a killer drummer. We want him to play with us because we don't currently have anyone. And so that's the first time. That's the first time, week by week, I started playing. So I would go to children's church, at 9:30, and then by 12 o'clock when everyone's leaving, and then later that afternoon as the
play
youth
your
service.
Game Boy Color for a while.
My parents go home. I'm with the youth worship pastor, and we're eating Taco Bell. I'm eating that big stuffed burrito. What's the
beefy 5-layer burrito?
Yes, sir.
Game time.
I'm deep in there. Just every Sunday, this dude, is life. I get to play
form
drums.
Of payment, dude.
Yes.
Wasn't life so simple then?
It's funny.
Very simple.
I think they were 89 cents at the time. They were
oh
so
my
cheap.
gosh.
I remember when I moved to Dallas, there was a season I didn't have any money at all. And I told my mom, I am not going back to Denver. And she was like, I said, I'll live in my car before I go back. And literally I was doing that. It's at a certain point for a few weeks. I was looking in all the cracks to get to 89 cents so I can buy a beefy 5-layer burrito.
Dude.
That's how it was, man. So you gotta do it.
Simple days, man.
Simple days.
Honestly.
Oh my gosh.
So
Taco Bell payments.
Just been playing.
Did you send him invoices?
No, oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Here's my receipt.
Yeah,
for
from
the
this month,
it's
just 4 beefy.
No, he would literally let me drive in his car with him, and we would eat Taco Bell, just sitting there from 12 to 1, and then rehearsals at 1.
Were just 8,
and
dude.
then
oh my gosh,
that was
that's
the life.
Beautiful, dude.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Sorry. Okay, and then how did Gateway happen?
Oh gosh, that's a big jump. But
sorry.
No, you're good.
Too far.
No, you're fine. Basically, by 20 I move here, and I get reconnected with all these people. I get reconnected with Brandon and just all these people I met in middle school, and we would help out this pastor, for the little bit that I was going there week by week. And I, in the year of 2019, the Lord basically was preparing us for a transition from the church that we were serving, which was Calvary Church in Irving, and love that church. To me, it's it's a badge if I can be, allowed to sit at the dinner table of every church that I've served. That's a huge badge to me, a badge of honor of okay, I did my time there, and I made family there, I made community there, and I can at any point call these people, and they would love to have dinner with me.
Dude, oh my gosh,
that's
cool.
That's how I feel about any ministry the Lord's opened up for me. So I
That's
didn't want to just pass, by that time of Calvary. It's a beautiful season there.
You did for 4 years?
3-4 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys are similar in that way.
Yep.
No burn bridges. Do our best to.
Do not burn bridges.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, somewhere that's gonna come back and bite you if you do.
Yep.
Yeah. So after that season, man, the Lord was preparing me and my wife. I've been married by that point, about a year in, and so He called us to Gateway. It was through a connection, honestly, as Ish. Yeah. Ish Melton was the connection. That's so weird to think about, man. I love Ish. Honestly, our relationship is anytime back then, especially anytime he needed someone just to cover a seat for him, he would hit me up, and I would love to do so, and vice versa. He's done the same for me, man. I've called him in pickles before, and Ish has been there, and so he was a big gateway to
Gateway.
the world of Gateway. And so I filled in, what was it? I filled in
Who's
for
the gateway drug?
a Christine DeClario thing, I think.
Yeah.
It was some festival out here that she did. And the worship pastor of Gateway just happened to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, Ish was going to go on the road with Christine for a while. And I think this worship pastor just happened to realize that we knew some of the same people. And he just on a whim just gave me a call.
Mark?
Yep, Pastor Mark.
Yeah.
Yep. And Ish vouched for me, and it was a very just a grace-filled door. Like no work on my part. Like the Lord opened it, and at the same time that we were praying, like, okay, newly married, are we called to be where we are? Like just those questions that come up when you're newly married. Like if you're newly married, like just try to think about like, okay, Lord, acknowledge him. Like what do you have for me?
Yeah.
Like so that he can cast vision, especially that first year, those first few years, into whatever he sees for you and your spouse. So we did that, and he met us, man. And I've been at Gateway since. It's been, man, 6 years?
Yeah.
It's so weird. Yeah, time
Long
is flying,
time.
bro.
Yeah.
But that's how I got connected with Gateway, and we've done a lot of ministry, a lot of albums, and you've been a part of them too. So yeah, man.
Just a few, yeah. But
yeah.
It's funny. Like we did Elissa's album.
That's
that
right.
Was fun.
Yes, that was a fun record,
I remember
bro.
being that was in 2020.
The thick of it.
We're like, I remember there's all this conversation that I was in with leadership, and we're like, who do we want to have like play drums for this record? And we just like on the heels of the Phil King album. I was like, we got to get Ryan. We got to get Ryan. And so you got in. Yeah. And we went to Nashville and did Elissa's record, and it was so fun.
I forget it was that close, man. It was that simple.
It was like crazy. It was crazy. Like that whole season was nuts. But like in the middle of going to Nashville and being at the studio till 3 or 4 in the morning, and then watching you, like you are not just a drummer, dude. It's like you are like you're a producer on that record, and that's like the way that I just got a huge like education in how do you think holistically about the music, and you're like, I remember for one of the songs, you like, give me all my sticks, where are all my sticks? You're like searching and you like picked up like, all right, hit record. I'm like, record, and you just drop all these sticks, and it's the sickest like sound effect.
You would think I was gonna see an Oppenheimer when he's trying to figure out how like math works. Or, like,
I got this idea. Yeah. And then, dude,
I'm just like half naked, like just like it's midnight. I'm just scrambling around looking for things to throw at walls
profusely
so we
for
can.
No reason.
Just sweating.
I forgot, bro. I rented like a Suburban.
Out of breath.
Yes, bro.
I rented a Suburban, and we
drove.
we
That's
drove
right.
to Nashville because you're like, oh yeah, like what do we gotta do? And you're like, I got a kid I'm gonna bring. I said, okay, cool. The whole Suburban is full of his stuff. Like
dude, you had so much stuff yourself.
It was
like,
so full. I don't know what
that was a fun trip, man. Like that was I'd been such an admirer of, especially like the Upper Rim community at that point, and never got the chance prior to do something. And so the door that you would open, honestly, and other friends of ours had opened for me to be a part of that was like, I felt like the Lord was just was giving me like a small pat on the back, like, hey, like if you just trust me, like I'll open doors you don't have to push open. Like, like let gravity do its thing when you like put it in my hand. And yeah, bro, that record's still one of the most beautiful records I've been a part of.
It took a long time to get it like through the finish line, but once we did, it was like a kind of for more than anything else for me, it's a memorial to that season.
Absolutely.
Like in the Bible, when they built an altar to that, like that's time when they were in the desert, that sort of thing.
I see it as like a beautiful labor, and not just like of our hands and like of our time and our skill set, but like we labored through that record, and the Lord, like he loves what, like he's delighted in what we made. Yeah. So yeah, man, that was a good season.
Okay, moving back just a little bit. I'm so sorry.
Absolutely.
You literally, it's so funny because you said 2016 was when you started playing at Gateway. So at that time,
2019.
Oh, you started playing at Gateway in 2019?
I moved here 2016, so that's probably where.
Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. Because literally, I remember, I don't know when it was. You know what? It was just as I was kind of like transitioning out after I quit my job in Chicago, working with my parents at their church. I was you because I was preaching a lot. I would listen to Pastor Robert Morris all the time, dude. He was probably the main preacher I listened to, just because like how he communicated resonated.
Absolutely.
And I, being an audio guy, I would always like listen to the worship. And then I remember at this one point, I was like, for some reason, I perceived you look like you were like 16 years old at the time.
Always, yeah.
Dude,
I get that all the
and
time.
I remember watching live stream. I was like, dude, they got like so
This
like
12-year-old's
16.
killing it, bro.
They got this gangster
Yo!
16-year-old just killing it on the drums now.
No, bro, I have a mad baby face sometimes.
No, but dude, it's so funny because I actually like recognize you, and then when we met at Gateway that one time, I was like, this is that dude.
Yes,
So,
sir. I
but
love
it's
that,
so
man.
cool. But it's I think it's so sick when God like gives us the privilege to like actually get in the game at a young age, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because so many people like I was just I'm like such a sucker for like the entrepreneurship algorithm on Instagram. I'm such a sucker, dude. I think it's actually
Guilty.
really
I know,
good for
I know
me.
You are.
Yeah.
I know you are.
But
I get all of them. I get all of them.
dude, yeah, I send them all to Brandon on the plane.
Our algorithm's just working us,
Yes,
like,
having
having its way with us.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, it's just telling me what to do each day. But point is, I just saw this one the other day. I've probably seen it like 4 times. But it's like Henry Ford started his company at 43. So and so started their company at 58. So and so, and like a lot of people's like notable successes in their life are like when they come to prominence, it's later. Like most people, even like building a family, doing those things that are like consequential, like there's this baking time first.
Oh yeah.
And like I've felt so privileged in my life because like whether it was all my own doing or what I feel has been the Lord's prompting and like is just this like push, like no, you're actually going to the front of the battle lines now, right? You're actually gonna like command some of the troops now, like Napoleon. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He was a general when he was like 18 or 19. He was which a lot of people don't know. That's crazy. But the point is, like, I think it's so sick that you have had that opportunity to like be in such a prominent role. And he was telling me he was telling me some of the records you've worked on. I want you to talk about some of those too. But even like at your age, the fact that you've done some of those is incredible. But
It's true.
Sure,
would
man.
you be down to talk about that?
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you said it perfectly. It's like there are seasons where it feels like a current is just taking us, and like you kind of just got to buckle up for whatever comes ahead. And honestly, if you can keep like a good head on your shoulders and like just give the Lord a yes, man, it doesn't feel like a burden when that season comes. Like, and so some of the records, like the Elissa one, that's still one of the most precious ones I've gotten to be a part of. A lot of Gateway stuff, and then
What was your favorite Gateway record you did?
So they used to have artists that were under their label, and honestly, the 1-2 that come to mind is Michael Bethany. Like, okay, so just a little bit about Michael Bethany.
Yeah.
He used
Dude
to be
can sing.
yes, he used to be worship pastor at my uncle's church in East St. Louis. So we go so far back, and
sick.
my first week at Gateway was his first week.
Oh.
Really?
And I remembered him, but obviously I was a kid when he was worship pastor, and so I had to like remind him, like our first Sunday up, I was like, "Are you Michael Bethany?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I don't know if you know this,
He's
but
like, yeah.
I've known you since. I mean, I love you, Michael. You're crazy, guys. I love you. So like I had to remind him like who I was, and he knew my parents. And as soon as I said my parents' names, he was like, "Bro, like what?" He said my dad's nickname, which I won't say here, but like that's how well he knows us. If you can name like the parents' nicknames, it's like, okay, you're from the same part of town. Like we know each other.
Yep.
And so honestly, his record we did a couple years back up at TKU. You were part of
At the original Gateway campus.
Yep.
Which
the
was
Kings.
nuts.
The King's record.
University.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude.
That honestly was such a precious record because so many friends that we've known through the years got to be there. And I don't know, I felt like the Lord gave me an opportunity to make something that was with someone who's homegrown like me. And I've never had that. I've never had the ability to be a part of something that kind of is a tribute to where I come from.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's
full circle.
Yeah, that's full circle.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I think of my season in St. Louis is, okay, will I ever, like, the honor I hold for it, like, will I ever be able to do anything there again one day? Maybe the Lord will open the door, there one day, because I want to give back to that same community that raised me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like,
Yeah,
I've been a part of so many churches there, and that was just kind of like a little pat on the back, like the Lord connected us at the same time, same week. He starts.
Yeah, it was the Lord.
Similar, I would say similar. Like he's transitioned out of Gateway, and I think him leaving also was a wrapping of a season for me at Gateway in a particular way. Like we still go to the campuses, I get to work with, the label a lot, but it was very prominent. Like the Lord put me there, many reasons, but for that,
wow,
it was like he placed me at the same time.
It's so nice to know, like, the reason why you're in a place.
Yeah, like you don't get it day one.
Yeah,
and I don't know, when you get it, it illuminates this sense of, oh Lord, I'm so glad you could trust me to carry out the time and the process to be able to see the fruit of our co-partnering labor. Like this, I get to be a part of that night. That night I cried, bro. Like it was, that's how touching it was to me. Is like, as soon as we opened the night, I was like, how am I here?
Yeah.
Like this feels where I used to watch this man at my uncle's church lead like tons of people, and I get to lead with him one, but also like it's an offering to the Lord we're leaving that is generational, honestly. Like, so cool, that's probably the coolest record of late to me, just because of what it means.
Are we allowed to say we're about to do the next one? Or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we're about to do another one, like 2 months out, man. Yeah. So we're gearing up for that this year. As far as more records you were asking about, recently I did last year Martin Smith. Latest record, and that was so fun, bro.
Low key mentioning that, that's fine.
I just did a record for Apostle Paul.
No, bro. He is like a father of worship in a way, and
dude.
So,
yes, legend.
Nothing but honor to that man. Like, it's great when you get to spend time with some of your heroes. Like, I recommend, if you can, spend time with your heroes. If you ever get the chance, don't.
Like actual time, not just in-person.
Whatever the phrase is about, don't meet your heroes. Like he debunked that, bro.
Yeah.
It was like, no, this is the real
he's
deal.
Just true.
He's true. And time showed that, and the character on that guy, like he makes total sense because he has such a heart for the younger generation, for kids that are coming unto the Lord in worship, and it's because he remains like childlike.
You can't fake his behavior, dude.
Oh no.
Like even the live I didn't listen to Delirious growing up. I was Hillsong United, and
you knew about it though.
Of course, I knew about them. But I knew Majesty or whatever, just whatever.
Did you feel the
Yeah,
bro.
No, I didn't even know that song until Jesus Culture Live in New York.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yes, I didn't even know that
that's
song.
That's a great record too.
But
by the
dude,
way.
once the mix. My gosh. But the point is that I feel like that actually, we could nerd out about that a little bit. But point is, hearing the way he led on that record, like that heart for young people to see young people worship and inspire that, even though he's not a young person at that point. I don't know. I just thought it was so beautiful. And even Darlene Check has that similar thing.
Absolutely.
You're just like, could this woman ever get mad? She has such this gentle spirit, and I don't even know her, but you can just sense it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude.
Martin Smith's like that.
He is the real deal. Like what you get on whatever stages you think he's been on, whatever churches he's been on. The real testament is to his kids, man. Like you look at someone's kids, you'll be able to know who they actually are. And I mean, he's raised some flag warriors, bro. Some free.
We were hanging on Abby's tour. Yes. I forgot.
Abby's tour, Ellie. Ellie Linebearer and her brothers.
What were their names again?
Noah
I
and
met
Levi.
them. I just forgot.
Noah and Levi and Ellie. They were all on.
I love you guys. Y'all the real deal.
Yes.
They were opening for Abby on I guess the whole East Coast leg and the Texas leg of her tour in November. It was so much fun. So I did mix for them and then mix for Abby. And
they were so cool and so British, dude.
Yeah,
good Lord,
awesome.
they were awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah, bro. I got to spend just a day or two with their family, in his home, in Brighton, and I don't know, just I learned a lot from that record, and it was good to see someone who's gone the distance still remain so childlike, and that's been huge for me to try to keep is. This innocence, this purity to how we view what we get to do, and he is the champion at that. that he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Love you, Martin. Yeah.
Dude, okay, so another
And that
question.
record's great,
Yeah.
by the way.
Thank
Oh
you, bro.
yes, I need to go
appreciate it.
listen to it.
Thank you.
It's so good.
So okay, so we don't have too much more time, but I wanted to ask on just to get into the slightly nerdier stuff.
Absolutely.
So tell me, like, when did I feel like all musicians that play everything, well, there had to be a moment when you went from like, oh yeah, I play all the instruments to like, I use a DAW. And then
Absolutely.
like, I know what plugins are and like, I'm a producer now, right?
For sure.
When did that transition take place? And then after that, I want to hear about your process a little bit, but maybe I'll
For sure.
start
No,
that.
that's we can absolutely get into the nerdier stuff. I'm always down. I
Great.
am a nerd at heart. So
It's true. We were talking about Dante earlier.
bro,
Who is Dante?
first 5 minutes okay. That's
Sorry,
your third episode probably saying that.
Oh my God.
Is it?
I'm
Be
gonna say
real.
it in every episode.
Who is Dante?
Does he say it every episode?
I tried to.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, so how I got started. There was in St. Louis, one of the people I got to serve under was this guy who was a worship artist, and he would travel, and he would serve this church called Journey Church, but also he was, trying to do at least regular touring, and we would do camps, we would do all sorts of different things, and he had records that I came to know a little bit, later down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me to be a part of those tours, and I would play on Sundays with him sometimes, and wasn't ever like officially a part of the band, but I got to just be near those guys, and particularly one, his electric guitar player was his producer, and this guy Taylor Webb is like my best friend.
Oh,
like
that's how you met Taylor.
that's how I met Taylor.
Got it.
He is honestly, I will
He's a
always
bomb
give him
engineer.
his flowers. He is the reason I do more than just play. Like
Mm-hmm. He exposed you to like, bro, you can make music.
He exposed me. At the same time, he was learning, like, when you're a little bit younger and everyone, let's just say even college looks like adults to you.
Yeah.
Like, he was probably fresh out of college when I met him, so not like all that seasoned, but to me it was like, oh, bro, there's a whole world I don't know about. And so being a part of touring with them, being a part of the records, like, I got to see how he worked, and he would bring me in on the process. And so little by little,
What software was that in?
That was, man, for him, it was probably Pro Tools, if I remember right. For me, it was GarageBand. It was like,
Yeah.
Dude, did you start in GarageBand?
Yeah, making loops. Are you kidding me?
Of course, dude.
With
absolutely.
chord
Everybody.
progressions that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
With, I mean,
moving those MIDI notes around, dude.
absolutely. With
Quantized.
laptops, I didn't even own. Like, I would just borrow people's laptops. Like,
Yeah.
it
Play
has
on
GarageBand.
Go to
like,
the Apple
yeah.
Store.
you,
play
you don't
GarageBand.
know, but you own this. It's
Yeah.
GarageBand.
It's on your computer.
Yeah, so that's
sick.
like my start to just making that transition, and just years time, man, just learning how to do more and more. And I've been, thank God, trusted to still do it. So
So
yeah.
tell us about your process. Like, I feel like there's a spectrum of producers, and Brandon could probably speak to this way more, the details of this. But like, are you a guy who is more an ideas guy and wants to bring a bunch of people in to play stuff based on their skills? Are you like, hey, I'm just going to like make this whole creation and give it to a mixer? Do you
Yeah.
mix much yourself?
He's a
Yeah.
freaking ridiculous engineer.
Really?
Thank you, bro.
Yes.
I mean, but
It's
he's a
stupid.
little bit of.
It's
I
stupid
mean,
how good he is.
Yeah.
It's,
Brandon's not
also
very
because of
good,
him,
so
it's-
that's probably why he's saying
He's
that.
like, hey, bro, what was it? Like, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
You're like, I got this rough mix. And it's Michael's record. It's Michael's record.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
It's this rough mix. And I'm like, dude, this is freaking sick.
Oh
This
my
is-
gosh.
Release this.
I'm
It's
not shocked.
done.
But it's thanks to you too. Like,
And Kyle was
he's he's an open book. So
Yes.
Kyle Lee's he mixed it eventually.
Nothing's
But I was
hidden.
like, bro, like that production mix is like
I appreciate that, bro.
slapping. And this was
You just
several
put an
years ago.
L1.
No, he just does
You're like,
his thing.
okay, it's done.
Man,
Yeah.
that thing will work though. Let's be
L1?
real. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That thing will work still till
L1's
this day.
phenomenal. Yeah.
The process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
what's your
okay,
favorite type of what's your
These-
favorite type of process
That's a good
to
question.
get brought into? Yeah.
I think these days, I mean, it's changed season by season, but I think these days I really enjoy coming into something that maybe I don't always know, like, who the players are gonna be, who's the team, like, especially in the live realm, like.
Hey, you
when
do a
you're-
lot of live recording stuff.
A lot of live recording still, and so
Yeah.
when you're dealing with just different ministries and whatever their community looks like, it's a chance to unlock things out of people that they don't know they have.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys are phenomenal at this. I think you're really great at this. And so from a production end, like that's the goal these days is when I get a call is to use the team that they have so it feels like it's authentically them rather than like a resemblance of me.
You get way more relational buy-in with people.
Yeah, all right, I'll just bring in my
It's their
crew
team.
and do this with your songs. Yeah,
and
that's
that's a record too. Like that's always fun to have old relationships that you can
call on.
just call on. So I mean, but these days, man, it's just fun to be able to give back to churches in a way that feels meaningful to them. It feels different if a pastor can listen to a record, their guitarist, their MD, their worship leader who sings every Sunday, who they can't pay, gets to be a part of. Like,
oh my gosh,
rather than
true.
The Avengers always coming in to do the thing.
Yes,
and we've been a part of those crews, and it's always
and
fun.
that's
but
fun,
like,
but
it
true.
It feels more timeless.
It's an awesome
view
point.
If you can give them something that reflects and resembles them. So that's my production style right now, man. Authentic stuff like that, and it's been a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's awesome. What's your just last question, and then we'll probably wrap.
Let's go.
What? Okay, so mixing wise, when did you get to the point that you felt like your mixes sounded like records, like they're actually? When did you get to the point that you're like, okay, like this sounds finished, like this sounds really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like, are you mixing? Because like I don't hang out with music producers that much, but like, are you just like mixing everything to the master bus, or like you doing like
the process? Okay.
Yeah. Are you like digging in like we do?
Bro, I feel like I am hard on myself when it comes to mixing, and I never feel content with. I mean, you get like you guys get.
Well,
it.
you've just described mixing, but
carry on. It's like
yes.
it's. I mean,
everything
it's whack-a-mole.
sucks. Yes.
Okay, I fixed that, and now everything else sucks. So, I still feel that. I mean, hey, just to be honest, that's still where I feel like I'm at. Is we have more tools, we have more, things to go to help make how we think someone that we used to, think they're the best at doing this. Like we always go like, oh, is that how they did it? They threw the L1 into like, I don't know, a 76 backwards, like to get that thing to sound like super, just crushed. Like, is that how you do it? And honestly, I'm always down to figure out new methods to mixing. And as far as like the nitty gritty, I'm not going straight into the master bus. As far as my master bus goes, it's a mix bus before the mono route, and I have a little bit more simplistic from what it was just a season ago, like instrument all, Vox all, verb all, and then a glue. Mix parallel. And so those four are, sent to my main mix bus. And I really go in between throwing everything on the mix bus and then letting the mix bus be the glue.
Yes.
And then also just
using the
one
glue
thing, and then just going to town with every single channel. Like seeing how much you can rip it apart, because it does bring about different results.
Yeah.
But I think it just depends on the music, man. It's honestly, there's no wrong way to go about mixing as long as you know the fundamentals. Like if you know the fundamentals, which you guys preach day and night, like I think I mean, you guys are students in my eyes. Like, of course, you have this mastery that you've obtained, but you remain students to the game. Yeah. And I think that's what makes your mixes and the company just so strong is you don't allow yourself to get too fatigued in learning. Like, you remain flexible to the growth of the thing. And so that's where I am on my mixing is it's not pretty in my eyes. It's like, this sounds good, but I know, man, it's not Sam Gibson, man. It's not Sean. It's not
nobody's.
It's not Pensato. It's not these guys. Like, bro.
Yes.
I've seen this Mix with the Masters video with recently.
Jason Joshua.
Saying, he's like, my template.
That guy's in
another.
He's already on Mars.
Is full of things I've stolen from everybody.
Yeah. Yep. The God particle's pretty cool too. Like I'm loving that thing.
Yes. Why, I have to honor Pensato's place in a second.
That's a great show.
Yep.
There's just there's no nothing new, right? It's just, and I've realized as I've gotten older and age kind of like gives you a perspective on value. Like, what should you value? Where do you
Yes.
put the things you value in your life? And I think that the more as my life has gotten crazier and crazier, and busier with kids and everything else, I realized that the simple is better, and that translates to my mixes as well.
Dude.
Yep.
Like strip it all down, do the basics that work, and that's what like Serban Gannett, who mixes every number one ever.
Absolutely.
You know? Like
Dude.
he's literally using metric halo on everything. That channel strip is on everything he's doing.
It's doing the job.
And the CLA 76, and that's it.
Well, dude, like Eastern.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was reading about this recently, but like Eastern thinking, and like out east, they figured some stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, East.
Yeah, out east, they have figured some stuff out in China and Japan. Okay, especially, and their way of thinking.
China.
China.
I know you were thinking about it. As
I just had to thank you for relieving me of that pressure that was stuck in my brain after that. But they think in terms of circles. Everything is like circular. They circle issues and stuff. And I think it's because like process is like you start actually the baseball swing that you have, the golf swing that Tiger Woods had at the end, he actually had when he was like 8. And then he evolved it and went through all this process only to actually do this same swing again.
Yeah.
But he's different, and there's just these little nuances. And like that's kind of how mixing is. Like at least I felt like it's this cycle of like you learning, you're compressing everything so hard, you're EQing a lot, you're not EQing at all. And then eventually like you find who you are through that, and it's like this is my flavor.
I have the perfect analogy.
Oh, let it loose.
How come everyone always ends up with a 57 on snare drum?
Oh yeah.
And then we go to the M80, then we go to something else, then we try.
It's the starter pack.
We add a
and then you go
mic,
back,
and then you end up back at the 57. You're like, oh, this is what I wanted.
Yep, this is what I was. You're like, yeah, but I don't quite like the top end and the upper mids. And they were like, let me try 57. You're like, oh, that's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Guys,
okay, before we stop, we're about to run out of space on these hard drives because we record in 12K.
Let's go.
Your favorite 3 plugins in honor of Batter's Box on Pensado's Place. What are your 3 favorite plugins?
Oh gosh,
man. Okay, tried and true. Let's just give love to the CLA 76.
Yeah,
just give it love.
Yes. Which version of it?
Blackface for sure.
Okay, and then what maker? The Waves one, or do you use the?
Man,
that is the CLA.
That's the CLA.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's the only CLA.
But I've tried the other ones,
you're right.
and I end up back to that.
Yeah,
like I have the UA one, the
UADX one is pretty solid.
Well, that's what. Not the interface version, but the native.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. That's a
76.
great compressor. You can just trust it. It's not doing anything crazy, but you just love what you're familiar with. Back to the 57 thing. It's like, man, it's just familiar, and hopefully you've gotten better that you know how to use it the way that's truly supposed to be treated. So,
all right,
second,
one down. Dos más.
I'll go Pro Q. And
3 or 4.
4.
Oh my God, 4 is amazing.
4 is great.
It's crazy.
I've been waiting for some of them features.
I don't know why the draw thing. It's cool. Never will ever actually use it.
I don't know. I forgot about it till you said it. Honestly,
it's a marketing piece.
Yeah,
truly. What else? It's got to be a verb.
Yeah.
Yes,
bro. I know it starts with a V.
I know.
And
I don't want to say it, but
it has something to do with Vikings.
Okay, it's the Valhalla Vintage, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
the vintage is king to me, man. There's so much good stuff. Like there's Big Sky now and the plug-in version. There's Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, that's great.
And there's so many good ones, but you come back to that. So,
Valhalla is perfect.
Yeah,
it is light.
Yeah.
And it does everything great, and it sounds like you want Verb to sound.
I think my 3 just describe how basic I am. Yeah, truly.
Oh, that's the Well,
hey,
we trust you now. No, we trusted you before, dude.
If you were gonna say like, I don't know.
If you would have said like Manny Mariquin acoustic guitar plugin or something, I would have been really concerned.
Tony Maserati.
Tony Maserati.
Yes.
Like the synth plug, like the DI or synth.
Put in the mix plugin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, dude. No, those are tried and true, so they hold up. Good
dude,
stuff.
Ryan, this was so fun. Thanks for being on here.
Thanks for having me, man.
I just want to say I love you. I'm so proud of you. I think that you got. I'm so excited to watch your future and watch you
yes
soar into the clouds like a dove.
Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not dying. Oh my gosh.
That's good.
You're a beautiful
No,
dove.
no, it's not a, it's
Not that
a
video of
eulogy,
the
bro.
guys tossing the dove and then it dies. Have you
Yes.
seen that?
Oh my gosh.
No, he gets hit by the train or something.
Yeah, I
Oh
guess hit
my
by someone.
gosh,
The whole funeral's
No,
like,
I
"Ooh."
am. I'm truly though. I'm so honored to know you. And I think that the future is so bright, and I
Bro.
can't wait
Yeah,
to
it's
watch
clear.
My honor, bro.
That's clear.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Love you, bro.